That the only thing we have to fear is itself.
To sort of recenter us on this current film and to get us going, because I mean, come on, you guys, we are a show that talks about horror movies and what's more horrific than things that just one might call ain't right. So let's have Andrew Nelson, our new songsmith, who offered us recently his tune to the brand new That Ain't Right theme song. Ladies and gentlemen, Andrew Nelson and That Ain't Right.
That ain't right, it ain't right, nothing right about it, no, it ain't right, no, it ain't right, no, that ain't right, it ain't right, it sure as hell ain't right, it sure as hell ain't right.
That ain't right, that ain't right, that sure as hell ain't right.
All right. Thank you so much, Andrew. Well, Jackson, Reed, it is the time, is the part of the show where we don't talk about a list of scares. We don't talk about, well, this scene sort of did that, this scene sort of that. This is where we categorize our That Ain't Right. Singular scenes that we would categorize as That Ain't Right. We each get one. All right. Okay. No cheating, no multiples, just one. And Jackson, I'm going to prattle on for just a second, but you're going first, okay? So
why do I have to go first?
Because you're the guest.
Because I don't know which ones y'all are going to pick.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
We
let you go first because you pick your main one. We go top to bottom. Okay. So you pick your number one, and you get the privilege of breaking us in. So
and because your flaming hair is so awesome, I want you to go first. On Jackson, of Scream 4, what would be your favorite moment that you would watch and say, now that ain't right?
Okay.
No problem.
I had to narrow it down. I think, well, there was the moment I mentioned earlier. My favorite moment in the whole movie that I mentioned earlier is Hayden Panettiere on the phone with the killer.
Right.
Toward the end. But that's not the one I'm picking, because that's really, I don't think that's what you're asking. I'm going to have to go with the death of Officer Perkins.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, oh man, the stab through the.
What's it? Oh, what's the guy's name? Anthony Anderson. Yeah.
Yes. I didn't know he was in it, and I was like, I love me some Blackish.
Stabbed straight in the forehead.
That was terrible. Yes.
It was so awful. And then he's stumbling around. He's still like incoherently talking, and then his final line, which I will not quote, but
awesome.
It's pretty funny.
F Bruce Willis, he says. Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, that one was jarring. But to the point that part of me was trying to rationalize, could he really be doing what he's doing, having just been literally stabbed through the front of his head? But I don't care, whatever.
I don't know, but and then there's just so much blood coming down his face. And it's brutal.
It is.
Depending on where that sort of obtrusion comes, it is medically accurate that something like that could happen, and you could still sort of look it up. I've seen it in multiple places. Because
I just totally responded to my look of incredulity.
I know it's true.
No, it's like you hear stories about people getting stuff lodged in their head and living with it lodged in their head for years.
Yes.
You know,
again, depending on what the
that's fair.
is.
That's fair. Yeah. A thing lodged in one's head, but we're talking like a, I don't know, 6-inch carving knife, like straight through the forehead. I don't know. I mean, sure, whatever.
Hey,
I'm no
Nathan. I will remind you, Nathan. It is a movie.
Hey, we don't abandon all rules of verisimilitude here.
No, it's true. But keep in mind that, and this is a heinous thing to be talking about in a very joking moment. Keep in mind that back in the dark ages of medical science, they would lobotomize people by taking out that frontal lobe. The front part of your brain is not, you can still function and move around when you have that front part of your brain gone. So I'm just saying.
I'm not drawing a hard line in the sand here. I'm just saying. I'm just
otherwise.
saying. If the tip of that knife is basically tickling the back of your skull, there's a chance you might not be able to do what he does there. Regardless. Hey, it made my that ain't right list. So I'm
either way, that ain't right. Either way, that ain't right.
Oh, absolutely. That
do you want to go next?
I'll do that. So this is more of a subtle one. So I've got there's There's one that's a little more brutal. There's a chance, Reed, you might take it. So I'm going to let you have it regardless, because I toyed between the brutal one and the subtle one. Oh, you know what? I'm going to pivot real quick.
Oh.
So I'm going,
Okay.
not even either of the two I just referenced. Y'all, Trevor gets shot.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
Junk.
yeah,
Like-
That ain't right. That ain't right.
That ain't right.
No.
In fact, I was making my that ain't right list as I was watching the movie, and I was like, okay, that's a decent one. That's a decent one. You know, come to another one. Oh, Anthony Anderson just stabbed through the head. Oh, that ain't right. And I was ready. I was like, okay, I've narrowed it down. We're cresting towards the end of the movie. I've got pretty much what I know is going to happen here. And oh my God, she just shot him in the junk. Okay, that ain't right. That definitely happened. So yeah,
Oh my God.
I mean, because bless his heart, he gets shot in the junk and then he gets shot in the head. I'm like,
Oh yeah, it's just
that
but
girl ain't right.
Yeah, no, she ain't right. She ain't right. No, I tip my hat to both of you for those. I think those are absolutely should make the top of the list. I'm gonna go with one that might be a bit unconventional.
Okay.
It's not that ain't right in the sense of just like a jarring sort of like, gah! But my that ain't right is actually after she has stabbed Sydney and she's
Mhm.
fairly convinced that Sydney is out of play, but she has to set the stage.
Mm.
so
yeah,
she looks
that was
like a victim.
almost on my list too. Yeah,
And so then she proceeds to just continue. So she pulls up her gosh, now I'm forgetting his name. The guy she was originally in
Trevor.
cahoots with. No,
Charlie.
Charlie, that's the name.
The
I couldn't
Culkin.
remember. Yeah.
Yeah.
So she takes Charlie and like scratches her own face and pulls out her own hair. Then she like stabs her own shoulder with the thing, gets so mad she like kicks a table, but then she just proceeds to just continue to like dives backwards into a
Yeah.
glass table. I'm sitting there, the more these things progress, I'm like, this ain't
When she ran,
right.
yeah, she rammed her head. Did you say that? She rammed her
Yeah,
head.
well, she
into
rammed
the-
her head into
Yeah.
the picture frame, you know,
Yeah,
like
ugh.
just the more that, and it just keeps building and building and building. And I was like, this ain't right. So when and it was already on my list, it was going to be my
And
selection. but-
then she poses herself.
right by Sydney,
So
like, eye
creepy.
to eye, face to face.
So
you know?
creepy.
So
Yeah.
it's not
That's
one
a
of
great
those.
scene.
Yeah, it's not one of those moments that's just like a gross out or anything like that. But just as you're watching it, you're just like, this woman ain't right. Like something is
Mhm.
off here, bad. And so yeah, that topped my list of like that ain't right moments. So there we are.
There we've been.
There we've
Yeah,
been.
that was-
All right.
Yep.
All right, Andrew, take us back out.
That sure as hell ain't right.
No, that ain't right.